Russia's defense ministry reported Tuesday that its forces had struck Ukrainian energy infrastructure and other targets as well, while Ukraine reported concentrated attacks in the Pokrovsk direction. According to the daily briefing of the Russia's defense ministry, its troops targeted Ukrainian energy infrastructure supporting military facilities, troop deployment points, and also foreign mercenary bases during the past 24 hours. On the same day, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported 86 clashes along the front lines as of Monday afternoon, with 37 of them in fact taking place in the Pokrovsk region. Ukrainian forces, meanwhile, are working to contain Russian advances, as per a report from Kyiv. Staying with the region, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that he has instructed his team to intensify all contacts with the American side. Now, his comments came a day after US President Donald Trump said that the US will have to send more weapons to Ukraine, dramatically reversing a previous announcement of a pause in critical weapons. In fact, previously approved firepower deliveries to Kiev. In his lightly address, Zelensky also mentioned implementing sanctions against China as he accused Beijing of supplying ammunition components to Russia. Shifting our focus to West Asia, where the Palestinian death toll in the Gaza Strip has risen to 57,575, with 136,000 more injured since the conflict between Hamas and Israel erupted on the 7th of October 2023. Gaza's health authorities said in a statement on Tuesday that in the past 24 hours alone, the Israeli military operations have killed 52 people and have injured another 262 in the enclave. Meanwhile, at least 60 Palestinians, including 6 freed prisoners and a paramedic, were killed in Israeli airstrikes and gunfire across Gaza on Tuesday as well. US President Donald Trump on Monday said that Iran had warned his administration in advance, in fact, of strikes on a US airbase in Qatar last month. Iran launched a limited missile attack on the Al Udeid airbase in Qatar on the 23rd of June, retaliating for the American bombing of its 3 nuclear sites. It is a sprawling desert facility in Qatar that serves as a major regional military hub, in fact, for American forces. Here's more.
It's not a pleasant period of a few days. It was a little longer than a few days, but this was not a pleasant period of time. And, you know, we were at the end, 14 missiles were shot, and every single missile was shot out of the air. It was pretty amazing. That was sort of the end. And they told us they were coming and where they were and what time they were coming.
A video released on Tuesday by the Ansar Allah media office, the Houthi rebels' media arm, showed what it said was militants, in fact, boarding a vessel, as well as explosions on the ship, sending black smoke into the air. The Houthis on Sunday attacked the Liberian-flagged Greek-owned bulk carrier Magic Seas with drones, missiles, rocket-propelled grenades, and also small arms fire, while forcing its crew of 22 to abandon the vessel loaded with fertilizer and steel billets for Turkey. The gunmen stormed the ship's bridge, running over broken glass. They then appeared in drone footage chanting the Houthi slogan, "God is the greatest, death to America," and so on. Finally, explosives likely planted on the vessel exploded, sinking it totally, as you see on your screens right now. 30 years after the Srebrenica massacre, members of the United Nations General Assembly are calling on each other to protect human dignity. The Srebrenica killings were the crescendo, in fact, of Bosnia's 1992-95 war, which came after the breakup of Yugoslavia unleashed nationalist passions and also territorial ambitions that set the Bosnian Serbs against the country's 2 other main ethnic populations, the Croats and the Bosniaks. In fact, on the 11th of January 1995, Serbs overran the Srebrenica, at the time a UN-protected safe area. Not only this, they separated at least 8,000 Bosniak men and boys from their wives, mothers, and sisters and slaughtered them. Those who tried to escape, meanwhile, were chased through the woods and over the mountains around town. And crews continue removing debris as search continues for the missing after deadly Texas floods. Now, more than 160 people are still believed to be missing in Texas, days after a flash flood killed over 100 people during the July 4th weekend. The state's governor has underlined this on Tuesday. Meanwhile, search and rescue teams are using heavy equipment to untangle and peel away layers of trees, unearth large rocks in riverbanks, and also move massive piles of debris that stretch for miles in the search for the missing people. Crews in airboats, helicopters, and on horsebacks also, along with hundreds of volunteers, are part of one of the largest, in fact, search operation in the state's history. Those reported missing are in the Kerr County, where most of the victims have been recovered so far. Meanwhile, this is what Governor Greg Abbott had to say.
Just in the Kerr County area alone, there are 161 people who are known to be missing. And again, that comes from combined law enforcement efforts, 161 known people who are missing. Know this, we will not stop until every missing person is accounted for. Know this also, there very likely could be more added to that list.
Meanwhile, floodwaters trapped people in their homes and cars Tuesday in a mountain village that is a popular summer retreat in southern New Mexico. This as monsoon rains triggered flash floods and an entire house would step downstream, as the visuals on your screen show right now. Meanwhile, emergency crews carried out at least 85 swiftwater rescues in the Ruidoso area, including of people who were trapped in their homes and cars, said Daniel Silva of the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management. However, no injuries or deaths were immediately reported, but Silva did say the extent of the destruction wouldn't be known until the water recedes.
The flood started, and then a really big flood just came, like a wall of flood. It came and it started going through, and that's when I started recording, because it got so wild so quickly. And that's when I saw the house coming down the river. And unfortunately, that house is one of my best friend's houses here.